When I initially met you on a LinkedIn course, I thought you were special, and I think I sent you an email back then, telling you what I thought about you. And when Marcus was in need, you were the only person that really came to mind. And to be able to bridge the gap from working with a mom to feeling comfortable enough to right, and trusting you with my son. That's my testimonial, I guess. Okay, but
you know, I mean, you know, it's actually so cool. So let me ask you a question, just in the interest of this whole thing. First of all, let me just stage it. So first of all, and I'm recording, so I have your permission to record this testimonial.
Yes, you
do. Thank you so much. Why don't you talk, Peir, about how you came to know me and what your experience was?
Sure. I was going to grad school, and one of the courses that I needed to take was a medical course. And at the end of the course, there was a LinkedIn class that was offered. And it's totally out of my wheelhouse. I'm a woman of a certain age. And so in order to become more successful and to just move on in your career, you really need to know how to navigate LinkedIn. So I decided to take your course. And you opened up my mind and my world to new possibilities. I never thought I could navigate LinkedIn. I find it so confusing, but you made it so easy to understand, and just your enthusiasm, right? And your commitment. It just meant a lot. And so I have to tell you, I'm very comfortable with LinkedIn now, and that is because of you. So thank you for that.
That is, you know what, thank you. It warmed my heart. You know, it was actually really, really cool because I always tell my students, if you ever need any help, you know where to find me. So go knocking on my door. Absolutely. And you came knocking on my door on LinkedIn.
And I did, right? I believed you when you said it. I believed you meant it when you said it. So yes, and you did.
Clearly I did. You know, it's interesting because the amount of people who follow through, I mean, it is what it is, but you follow through, and you actually had some questions at the time. You were kind of in career transition yourself, right?
Yes. Correct. I was. And I've moved on to a new career, and LinkedIn helped me because it was able to provide me with those tools that I needed to network and, you know, make the connections in order to gain the employment that I have now. So yes, once again, kudos and thank you so much.
Wow, that is, I mean, that's, and it's all on you. So then I get an email, after about a year or 2 or 3 later?
Yes, about probably maybe 2 years later, okay. I would think Marcus is graduating from college and looking for employment. And I graduated. Okay, you had graduated from college. And Marcus was looking for employment, and I didn't feel that he had the skill set or the tools that were necessary in order to gain employment. So I'm just racking my brain as a parent, trying to think what more I can do. But I recognize, my husband and I, we both recognized that this was out of our wheelhouse. And so then, still trying to figure out what to do, you came to mind. I remember that you were so open, and you said to reach out to you if ever there was a need. And I remembered you were a career coach. And so I sent you an email. I briefly talked about Marcus, and you said, sure, of course. Just ask him to go to your website and to whatever one does there.
Yeah.
And he did, and you guys connected, and you connected in an authentic way, right? And Marcus didn't know what to expect when I, suggested meet with Ron. He's a career coach. He's a really great guy, right? And he's like, I don't know about this stuff. He trusted me enough, right? And once he had the initial conversation with you, he was so excited and optimistic about the possibilities. And not only that, he said, thank you, Mom, for introducing me to Ron.
Wow.
Right? So.
Wow. So Marcus, let me ask you a question. But by the way, you look like your mom, brother. You look like your mom. I'm just telling you right now.
You know what's hilarious? You say that, but then everyone else doesn't look like my dad. Like, if my dad was here, you would say I look exactly like him. So.
So maybe that, and I haven't seen him, but I'm seeing moms right now.
Right. That's at work. Otherwise, I would have had him come
okay.
to work today.
And that's a compliment to you, too. Marcus, tell me, kind of getting into that story, your mom makes this introduction and you didn't follow through right away. So tell me your perspective and how it all worked from your perspective.
Yeah, so I had recently graduated from school. I was interning, or I had interned at a digital marketing firm, and I was hoping to get an offer. I didn't get an offer. So I was stuck in Atlanta, living in my aunt's house, trying to figure out, what I was going to do with my life. I was interviewing at some places and nothing really was seeming to stick for a variety of reasons. And as someone who has never been interested in social media really in any way, shape, or form, I've never particularly cared about LinkedIn and, seen its value or used it in a positive way, I would say. So, when I'm in the space, my mom she tells me about this guy named Ron who had helped her upgrade her LinkedIn, and helped her think about the job career search in a different way. And she suggested that I contact you. So I did. And like my mom said, I wasn't too keen on it, honestly, to begin with. I didn't really know what to expect because I had never done this like I should, obviously. I don't know if I want to I just got out of school. I don't know if I want to have meetings with some dude I don't know.
Random guy who my mother is suggesting that I can't possibly be cool. It can't possibly be cool.
And I'm honestly not. I'm kind of prideful. I'm not generally into getting help from people. I'd rather just go about my business and see if it works out. But when we found, I ended up going to your website and emailing you, and we connected and figured out our first meet. And after the first video call, I truly enjoyed it. It was like you were an extremely personable guy, and I wouldn't normally be willing to get up at 10 o'clock in the morning. Especially after doing whatever.
Right.
But, for you, Ron, it was completely worth it. And that is honestly, that's the largest testament to you that I could possibly.
I appreciate that. So, and I got to tell you, I had as much fun as well, which is why I do this. What was it, kind of a step back? What was it? So your mom made a recommendation. Obviously, trust her. You looked at my website.
Yep.
What was it about my website or whatever that made you go like, okay, I'll take a look?
If I can be honest, I wouldn't even say it was your website, honestly. It was my mother. It was me being a 22-year-old kid and my mother being on my back to do this. Yep.
Sure.
So,
that's what I do.
So,
thanks, Mom.
You're welcome, Ron.
So, if I didn't do it, it would just be harping all the time.
I don't go away.
Yeah, so
I get it.
I ended up sending the email, and then like I said, after the first time we had the video call, it was just I knew from like after the first 2 minutes that I liked you and that this would be a good experience and that I could really gain something from these calls and these chats and figuring out my LinkedIn and just the breadth of knowledge that you have on the whole career search and how to deal with recruiters and all those things. So yeah, I was very much willing to do it after the first video call easily.
Cool.
Because you are impressive.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you right now, I love what I do, which is really the secret sauce. It's just, I love what I do.
So. It's infectious. It really is.
Yeah,
and it shines through. It does. It makes all the difference.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
So obviously we talked about LinkedIn career networking, which is kind of part of what I do, but what did you get from our interactions, Marcus?
I think I got that I can offer more things to companies than just my degree, right? I got a marketing degree, but there's so much more to me and, the things that I know and the things that I'm good at that I can leverage and bring value to a company with. I would say that's what I got. Yeah. So it's confidence maybe, all the LinkedIn stuff aside, which is great and everything, just like I said, your breadth of knowledge and the things that you told me and taught me and the books like that you told me to read and things like that. That's the things that I really valued about our conversation.
Awesome. And you also, so you ended up with a really cool LinkedIn profile. You did everything we talked about. You even learned how to network on LinkedIn. You even did a couple of, exploratory conversations with people. But you also ended up with a job offer just through your own networking, and the process of talking through that, was that helpful as well?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I think just talking to you about, my career and, things, like I said, the things that I can bring to a company while I was in the process of interviewing, like had me thinking about things that I would say in my interviews and ways to attack different questions and, that kind of stuff. So I think it worked out very well that I was interviewing while I was talking to you.
Without a doubt.
I'm happy to have it like that. So
yeah, awesome. And I think that's part of the thing is one of the things I market is building your career with LinkedIn, but it's much more than just LinkedIn, because career is really, it is all the above. It's meeting people, it's confidence, it's on a day when I don't feel like doing it, how do I keep doing this stuff? And it's all of that stuff that we have to manage in the career process that I touch on. So if there was, yes, sir, please.
Also, before I forget, another thing that I really appreciated was that you opened my eyes to, a different number of industries that I never particularly thought about. So yeah, I really appreciate that as well.
You know what? And once again, thanks to your mom and dad, they've done some really good. I'm serious. I have kids, and I'm proud of my kids. But I'll tell you right now, when I met you, I could instantly tell. It's like, wow, man, your skills. It's not about your degree. It's about your communication and how your articulation. Your gold is your communication. You're extremely personable. You're smart. You're sharp. You're a fast learner. But your communication skills are exceptional, and that's your golden key. Yeah.
I'd like to also echo that. Although, oftentimes what makes your career coach you so valuable is that the children don't necessarily learn everything they need to learn in college. You think you're sending them off and they're going to learn when they graduate what it is they need to do in order to gain meaningful employment. That's not necessarily the case. And it's not just Marcus. I see it with this generation. I see it with a lot of his friends as well. They're just not able to, transition and figure out what needs to be done in order to gain employment. So once again, what it is that you do is so valuable. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Marcus, is there a final word? And I truly, once again, appreciate both of you guys waking up on a Sunday morning.
You gotta be even early into Europe at 8:30. It's 11:30 for us. So.
Ron is always grinding.
You know what? It's without a doubt. I got a lot going on. The final question for you, Marcus. Is there anything else you want to say about this experience before I sign off?
I would suggest it to anyone who's in a position or looking for a job or just looking for someone, smart and knowledgeable to talk to about, these kind of issues. And I would also just say thank you for everything that you've done, for your time, for all the wisdom that you've imparted on me, and all that.
For who that you are.
Yeah, for being you.
For being you.
Thanks for that, Ron.
Peir, what would you say to parents about something like this?
Well, I would say that in Ron, you're kind of the best of both worlds. You can relate to all generations. You're non-generational, if you will. It doesn't matter the age. Someone who may be a little bit older and who is seeking to reinvent or recreate, you're there for them. You can relate. And someone who may be starting out or even in, mid-level, wherever you are in your career path, you're the person, Ron Nash, who can help them achieve their goals. You can help them achieve their goals.
Awesome.
Well said.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well said. Once again, I appreciate your time. I truly do. I also appreciate, Peir, that you entrusted me with your career as well as your son, which is very special. And as you both know, you know where to find me. If you need me, don't hesitate to reach out, please.
Thank you. And I know that you mean that. And once again, I entrusted you with Marcus, and you did an exceptional job. And